Well, some guy was in there today with his wave runner.
I saw that he was doing backflips.
Yeah.
Oh, was he?
I think Alan Cole was
Alan, he
posting
posted
on
it.
Facebook, right?
Yeah.
It's like one of those, you don't want to get the color. We were worried about it. I've never, I think I might have, I don't even know if I put foot in the lake once. And I am.
I don't like there's gotta be.
I don't like lakes to begin with.
This one looks
that's
like,
other
stuff. I don't like it.
you can have this one.
I like being
That
on
looks
top
good.
of the lake.
Like when Madison's like 29, I think when she was little, it was open and we would go.
Might have been a lot better.
But that's when the sewer wasn't around either. Sewer was supposed to help them out.
Good evening, everyone. I call to order the Mount Olive Township Council Workshop Meeting, May 19th, 2026. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silent reflection. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by sending timely notice to the Daily Record and the West Morris Reporter and posting notice on the bulletin board of the Municipal Building, 204 Flanders Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey. Additional notice has been posted on the township website and sent to those individuals requesting the same. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ferrante,
Here.
Mrs. Labow, Ms. Lalama,
Here.
Mr. Mania,
Here.
Mr. Ruggiero,
Here.
Mr. Roman.
We're on to resolutions. We have 18 resolutions. Are there any questions from town council?
Yes, I have one on 199-2022. Andrew, can you explain this? Are we renting them, or is it just a service contract on them?
This is the service contract to maintain them. So we
Okay.
already own the 3 AEDs. Cintas comes out every month and inspects them, logs it, makes sure the battery's charged. So this is a service contract for the AEDs.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
I do have a question on a couple of the resolutions. Andrew, 201-2026 and 205-2026. I always love that we're making improvements for our recreational sports programs. Both of these are related to Mount Olive Soccer. One has to do with the authorization of seating, and the other one has to do with new lighting for the fields at Turkey Brook. Quick question, it's about $650,000 in expenses. How is that flowing through the township?
So that was included in the 2026 capital budget. So we are bonding for those projects. But the soccer club has committed to paying back or reimbursing the township 100% of the cost of those two projects.
Okay. And then on 203-2026, this is the Lucas Chest Compression System. Is this something new for us, or is this for training purposes?
This is for the actual ambulances, and this does the compressions for the rescue squads. And I believe, Tyler, correct me if I'm wrong, but this should be the last one for every ambulance to now have a Lucas device?
I think you probably have to go to the microphone and just repeat that. I apologize. Should have directed you there.
And again, that item was included in the 2026 capital budget.
It's in the capital piece, right?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
All the purchases that are on this agenda and moving forward are all part of the 2026 capital budget.
Yeah, so
Sorry, thank you.
to answer your question, it basically provides all our fleet with the same uniform equipment. It protects the crew as they're doing CPR in a rig. Instead of standing up, the machine actually does the compressions for you. And it's a great life safety tool to provide adequate care for our patients.
Thank you for repeating that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, anytime.
I have a question for you.
Councilman Ruggiero?
Thank you. Andrew, real quick, what would happen, I have a question on Resolution 210, 2026. What would happen if we do not pass this budget tonight? How would it affect the town?
Well, 210 is to amend the resolution, or amend the budget. We did receive some comments back from the state today that we need to make some minor adjustments. It doesn't necessarily change any of the appropriations or revenues. It just clears up some of the questions internally, and the auditor will comment on that when we get to that resolution. But your other question is, what happens if we don't pass a budget? We're currently operating on a temporary budget, so the longer you wait to pass your budget could affect operations in the future, because departments are waiting for the budget to be adopted to fully fund their operations. Also, if you don't adopt the budget within the statutory timeframe, there are penalties which the state can impose on the governing body. And Gary, correct me if I'm wrong, but the state can also come in and set your tax levy and take over the entire budget process if you don't adopt your budget.
Correct.
That's correct? Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions from town council on the resolutions?
Before we go on to ordinances, I need to make a correction. Mr. Aaron is present at the meeting. I didn't call you for a roll call.
Here? Thank you. All right. We have 3 ordinances for first reading. Does anyone on council have any questions? Seeing none. Ordinance 16-2026. This is the amendment to the town code for the chief of police minimum qualifications. I understand it's more to fall in line. I see the chief is here. Just to kind of update us. Is it more to fall in line with, you'll have to take the microphone to respond. But we're looking at a minimum of 2 years in service, plus a certain number of years on the force to qualify for the chief position?
Yeah, it is really to fall in line with our operating procedures. The 3 years isn't changing, but in our operating procedures, we have 2 years minimum to be captain. So we're just keeping that in line with 2 years as a lieutenant to be chief.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you, Chief. Are there any other questions on the ordinances from council? Seeing none, thank you. We have 1 ordinance for second reading. Does anyone on council have any questions? Seeing none, thank you. Is there any old business? Seeing none, any new business? We are now in our first public portion of the meeting. Does anybody from the public wish to be heard? Seeing none, can I get a motion to adjourn to the public meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I now call to order the Township Council public meeting for May 19th, 2026. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by sending timely notice to the Daily Record and the West Morris Reporter, and posting notice on the bulletin board of the municipal building, 204 Flanders Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey. Additional notice has been posted on the township website and sent to those individuals requesting the same. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ferrante,
Here.
Mrs. Lebow, Ms. Lalama,
Here.
Mr. Mania,
Here.
Mr. Ruggiero,
Here.
Mr. Roman, Mr. Aaron.
Here. We're moving on to approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. Councilman Ferrante.
Sure, I make a motion to approve the May 5th, 2026 workshop and public meeting minutes.
Second.
Roll call?
Does anybody have any comments?
Oh, any comments?
Mr. Ferrante,
Yes.
Ms. Lalama,
Yes.
Mr. Mania,
Yes.
Mr. Ruggiero,
Yes.
Yes,
Mr. Aaron.
it's okay. Correspondence has been presented to council in advance of the Township Council meeting. Does anyone on council have any questions or comments on the correspondence that was sent? Seeing none, we have 1 ordinance for public hearing this evening. This is ordinance 11-2026, titled Township of Mount Olive, Morris County, New Jersey, calendar year 2026, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget cost of living allowance and to establish a cap bank, NJSA 40A-4-45.14. Mr. Mania.
Thank you, Mr. Vice
Oh,
President.
sorry.
I move for adoption and final passage of ordinance number 11-2026.
Sorry, Mr. Mania, I've got to take a step back. Just take one step back in procedure. I open the hearing to the public on ordinance number 11-2026, entitled Township of Mount Olive, Morris County, New Jersey, calendar year 2026 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget, cost of living allowance, and to establish a cap bank, NJSA 40A-4-45.14. Now, Mr. Mania, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, does anybody from the public wish to be heard? I close it to the public. Mr. Mania.
Repeat it.
Yes, please.
I move for adoption and final passage of ordinance number 11-2026.
Second.
Second amendment.
It's been, is that- yep. It's been motioned and seconded. Any council discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Ferrante,
Yes.
Ms. Lalama,
Yes.
Mr. Mania,
Yes.
Mr. Ruggiero,
Yes.
Mr. Aaron.
Yes. We now move on to ordinances for the first reading. Yep. Ordinance number 11-2026 is passed on second reading, and I hereby direct the clerk to forward a copy of the same to the mayor and publish the notice of adoption as required by law. Thank you. We're now on to ordinances for first reading. Next item on the agenda for first reading is ordinance number 14-2026, entitled An Ordinance of the Township of Mount Olive, County of Morris, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 356 Taxation of the Township Code to reflect a prior change in the open space and recreation tax. Mr. Ferrante.
I move that ordinance number 14-2026 be introduced by title and passed on first reading, be scheduled for a public hearing, second reading, and consideration of final passage at a meeting to be held on June 9th, 2026, at 7 p.m. at the Municipal Building, 204 Flanders Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, and be published, posted, and be made available by the clerk in accordance with the law.
Need a second?
Second.
Any council discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Ferrante,
Yes.
Ms. Lalama,
Yes.
Mr. Mania,
Yes.
Mr. Ruggiero,
Yes.
Mr. Aaron.
Yes. Next item on the agenda for first reading is ordinance number 15-2026, entitled An Ordinance of the Township of Mount Olive, County of Morris, State of New Jersey, amending Section 550-45, entitled Fire Lanes of the Township Code to establish uniform fire lane regulations. Councilwoman Lalama.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I move that ordinance number 15-2026 be introduced by title and passed on first reading, be scheduled for public hearing, second reading, and consideration of final passage at a meeting to be held on June 9th, 2026, at 7 p.m. at the Municipal Building, 204 Flanders Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, and be published, posted, and made available by the clerk in accordance to the law.
Need a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any council discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Ferrante,
Yes.
Ms. Lalama,
Yes.
Mr. Mania,
Yes.
Mr. Ruggiero,
Yes.
Mr. Aaron.
Yes. Next item on the agenda for first reading is ordinance 16-2026, entitled An Ordinance of the Township of Mount Olive, County of Morris, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 68, Police Department of the Township Code to amend Chief of Police minimum qualifications. Councilman Ruggiero.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I move that ordinance number 16-2026 be introduced by title and passed on first reading, be scheduled for public hearing, second reading, and consideration of final passage at a meeting to be held on June 9th, 2026, at 7 p.m. at the Municipal Building, 204 Flanders Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, and be published, posted, and made available by the clerk in accordance with the law.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Council, any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Ferrante,
Yes.
Ms. Lalama,
Yes.
Mr. Mania,
Yes.
Mr. Ruggiero,
Yes.
Mr. Aaron.
Yes. Okay, we're going to move on to our budget resolutions. Mr. Ferrante, would you move Resolution 193-2026, titled Resolution Regarding Waiver of Reading in Full of the 2026 Budget for approval?
Sure, I'd like to make a motion to move Resolution 193-2026.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any council comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Ferrante,
Yes.
Ms. Lalama,
Yes.
Mr. Mania,
Yes.
Mr. Ruggiero,
Yes.
Mr. Aaron.
Yes. Prior to the public hearing on the 2026 municipal budget, our business administrator, Andrew, would like to give us a budget presentation.
Thank you, Council Vice President, and I think I'll do it from here. I think the mic is picking me up better than from the podium. Everyone should have a slideshow presentation, and it's up on the board. But again, good evening, Mayor, Council, and residents. Tonight, we are presenting the Township's 2026 municipal budget. This presentation is intended to provide a transparent overview of the budget, explain the major cost drivers and revenue sources, review the impact on taxpayers, and discuss the water, sewer, utility, and sanitation district budget. Oh, Dane, what happened?
We pause 5 seconds for technical difficulty.
Did I lose?
Need the battery.
You'll turn it off, turn it on. Yeah, there you go.
The old
Restart.
reboot.
Yeah, restart, that's it.
There we go.
There
Okay.
we go, you got it.
Thank you. Okay. We're
IT
back.
has saved the day again. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Again, the purpose of tonight's presentation is to provide an overview of the 2026 municipal operating budget, including revenues, expenditures, fund balance trends, ratables, and the overall tax levy and tax rate impacts. We will also review the water and sewer utility and sanitation district budgets, provide an estimated average tax bill breakdown, and receive public comment prior to adoption. The total 2026 operating budget is approximately $45.8 million, with a municipal tax levy of approximately $25.2 million. The proposed levy represents a 10% increase over 2025, resulting in a municipal tax rate of .712 cents per $100 of assessed value, which is an increase of 6.4 cents from the 2025 municipal tax rate. For the average assessed home of $324,500, the municipal portion of the tax bill would increase approximately $204 a year, or about $17 per month. While no increase is ever desirable, this budget reflects significant financial pressures, insurance increases, pension obligations, and slowing revenue growth. This chart shows how the township funds municipal operations. Out of the $45.8 million operating budget, approximately 55% of the budget is funded through property taxes. About 30% comes from other revenues and fees, including permits, court revenues, shared services, and departmental revenues. Fund balance contributes approximately 6.4% of this budget, while state aid remains flat at 4.5% of total revenues. Fund balance utilization has been reduced significantly in this year's budget compared to prior budgets, which in the past has made up approximately 15% of the total revenue. So while in prior budgets, 15% of your revenue is coming from fund balance, this year's budget only anticipates 6.4%. And this starts to demonstrate the township's declining reliance on fund balance and the need to look at other revenue sources other than local property taxes to fund essential services. And last week, I did circulate a pretty detailed memo, which we'll discuss at the next council meeting, to go over some ways that the township could increase revenue to reduce that reliance on taxes. The next slide is the budget appropriations. Public safety remains one of the township's largest operational expenditures, reflecting police, fire, and emergency management services. Insurance costs continue to be a major financial driver, accounting for nearly $7.4 million in expenditures. Statutory expenses, debt services, reserve for uncollected taxes, and public works operations also make up a significant portion of the budget. Like many other municipalities across New Jersey, a substantial portion of the budget is tied to fixed or mandated costs that are largely outside of local control. History of tax levy. This slide provides historical context regarding the township's tax levy increases over the past decade. For many years, the township maintained a very modest tax levy increases, often under 2%, with several years well below inflationary growth. However, beginning in 2024, we started seeing increases due to rising operational costs, insurance premiums, labor costs, and reduced flexibility and revenue growth. This chart shows the annual impact to the average homeowner over time related to the tax rate. From 2013 through 2023, the township maintained flat increases to the municipal tax rate, providing stability for residents during healthy growth periods. And if you look at that 19-year period, the municipal portion of your bill only increased $812, which is roughly $43 a year. The recent increases in 2024, 2025, and now 2026 are directly tied to rising operational costs, slowing rateable growth, combined with inflationary impacts. Ratables. Ratables represent the township's taxable property base and are critical in helping offset budget growth. In recent years, the township experienced healthy ratable growth, particularly in 2025, which drove our fund balance to an all-time high. However, in 2026 shows a significant slowdown in ratable growth, with only approximately $8.5 million added compared to over $166 million in the prior year. So that only represents an additional $60,000 in new taxes that the township is receiving due to the increase in ratables in the 2026 budget. And again, when ratable growth slows, there are fewer opportunities to spread operating costs across new development, increasing pressure on the existing tax base. A history of fund balance. Fund balance serves as a financial reserve to help stabilize taxes by offsetting annual operating costs, which is an accumulation of unspent funds or excess revenue throughout the years. Over the last 10 years have shown that the township was able to utilize fund balance to stabilize taxes while also regenerating even more fund balance due to new ratable growth and some other one-off revenue increases that weren't anticipated during several years. While the township has historically used approximately 50% of their fund balance, again, this year, due to development slowing down, we are only utilizing 29% of the current balance. While this fund balance is still at a healthy level, which represents 22% of our operating budget, we need to take a more conservative approach moving forward. And at the end of 2025, the township did not replenish the amount of fund balance used due to a large tax appeal settlement, which ultimately impacts how much fund balance we're using in 2026. Cost drivers, the primary revenue and appropriation changes impacting the 2026 budget. On the revenue side, state aid remains unchanged with moderate decreases in permit revenues, interest earnings, shared services, and hotel tax revenue. On the expenditure side, the largest increases continue to be health insurance and liability insurance costs totaling over $912,000 in additional expenses. Other significant increases include salary and wages, pension and social security obligations, capital improvements, utilities, and snow removal. And again, this is not unique this year for Mount Olive. Many municipalities across the state are seeing similar cost drivers. For the water sewer utility budget, the proposed budget totals approximately $8.2 million. Importantly, there is no increase in water or sewer rates proposed for 2026. However, again, due to operational needs in the future and infrastructure costs, we will be recommending rate increases to potentially start in 2027. The sanitation district totals approximately $3.94 million, with a district levy increase of approximately 9.2%. The sanitation tax rate would increase by 1 cent, resulting in an annual increase of approximately $32 for the average assessed home, bringing the yearly cost of sanitation disposal to $360.20 for the average assessed home. This chart provides a breakdown of the average total property tax bill by agency for 2026. The school district represents the largest share of the property tax bill at approximately 66%. So out of an average tax bill of $11,708, over $7,500 of that goes to the school district, while only 20% is maintained by the township, or roughly $2,300 out of the $11,706 average tax bill. And the county taxes, sanitation, library, and open space make up the remaining portions. So in closing, this budget reflects the difficult financial realities currently facing municipalities throughout New Jersey, including rising insurance costs, pension obligations, inflationary pressures, and slowing revenue growth. Despite these challenges, the township continues to focus on maintaining core services, public safety, infrastructure, and operational efficiency while remaining fiscally responsible, which was proven by the latest S&P ranking, which affirmed our AA rating with a stable long-term outcome. And comparatively, when you compare Mount Olive to other Morris County municipalities, compared to our budget size, number of employees, and what our budget is per capita, Mount Olive is one of the lowest on that list. So to me, that shows that while we're increasing the tax levy, we're still doing things pretty efficiently. And again, we appreciate the continued support from our residents, department heads, staff, mayor, and council throughout this budget process. So that is all that I have to report.
Thank you, Andrew. Does anybody on council have any questions for Andrew on the presentation? Seeing none, Andrew, I'll just say I know that it's been a challenging budget season. I think that when you go through your cost drivers, you look at things like health insurance and general liability increasing so significantly year on year with ratables going down. It's a challenge, I think, to balance a budget. And I just want to say thank you to your team and everybody involved, Joe, everybody with your team involved in the process of presenting it this way.
Thank you. It was a team effort, so Joe, Gary, thank you very much for your
And
help.
Gary.
Second.
With that, I open the hearing to the public on the 2026 municipal budget. Does anyone from the public wish to be heard on the budget? Seeing none, I close the hearing to the public. We have a resolution. Mr. Ruggiero, would you please move Resolution 210-2026? Titled, Resolution Regarding Resolution to Amend the 2026 Budget. Mr. Ruggiero.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Motion to pass resolution 210-2026, resolution to amend 2026 budget.
Before there's a vote, can the auditor please explain the amendments?
Yes, please.
Sure.
All right, since I was here last time on the introduction, a few events happened. We had a successful note sale, which basically gave us a favorable interest rate, and as Andrew just stated, our AA rating was affirmed, which is a good thing. We had a meeting with the local finance board last Wednesday. If you recall, the budget tonight was dependent on the action of the local finance board to include our requested cap waiver outside the cap. We did the presentation, and the approval was unanimous by the members of the local finance board to approve the budget with the cap waiver excluded from the cap, which gave us permission to proceed with adopting tonight. However, then we ran into the roadblock of the division staff reviewing the budget, and there's been some turnover in staff down there, including one person who was there 40 years, so there's a new sheriff in town, and your review notes, like the review notes I've gotten from many of my other towns, was about 33 items, and we only received that at 10 o'clock this morning, so not much lead time. By 1 o'clock, we had drafted out comments and answers to 32 of the 33, sent a whole bunch of documents down. A few of the items, well, I'll go over the amendment, required an amendment, but thankfully, they don't require the amendment to be advertised because they're minimal adjustments. The final item, which had to do with your water quality assurance, whatever report, which came into being a couple years ago, that report has to mirror what's in your capital budget. And we were just having some difficulty interpreting the report because I'm not an engineer, but we figured it out. So as I was driving up Route 80 at 6:26 or something, I think we got approval to adopt after the amendment. So it was a wonderful day. So what this amendment basically does, and just to point out a couple things, and I've been doing this budget for a couple decades, interlocal health agreement, we always combine all the various communities that we have these agreements with on one line. Well, they felt it was necessary that we break it out by municipality now. That was important to them today. So you'll see, we just basically take the 294,118 and break it out to the various communities. And on the other side is the expense, where you're spending the money to provide that service. So they felt after we had done this for many, many years that it was time for change. So that was one thing. One little error we had amongst us all is that we flipped the amounts for revenues due from Open Space Trust and due from the Mount Olive Township Library. We had discussed them at the introduction. The numbers were just inverted in the budget, so this just clears those up. And then basically that's it on the current fund. The sewer utility budget, they felt our estimate of Social Security tax based upon the revenues should be a little higher, so we basically reduced other expenses by 10,000 and put it in Social Security. Keep in mind, you always have the ability in the last 2 months of the year to transfer. We had told them that if it came that we were short, we would transfer, but they didn't accept that answer, so they required an amendment. And then finally, the recreation utility surplus was overstated based upon a calculation of cash surplus, so we were required to reduce that by roughly $17,000, and we reduced salaries and wages accordingly. So these are their minor adjustments to your budget after their review. They pre-approved this amendment, so as long as you pass this amendment tonight, then you could proceed to adopt after that. There's no required public hearing on this amendment because mainly the criteria is if you modify a line item, increase or decrease by more than 10%, it's required to be advertised. None of these do that. And secondly, then, if you don't have to advertise, there's no public hearing. So basically, roll call vote with the, approval on this, and then you could proceed to adopt, and your budget season will come to a close.
Do we have any discussion on this? Any questions? Any questions from council? On the rating, Gary, on the rating comment you made earlier, I know rating is important for us to get access to money. Are there any concerns with the amended budget that we need to keep in mind going into next year that could be of concern for our rating?
Well, with the amended budget as it stands, that's your plan for the year. The outcome of your plan is what should only be the concern. And as, Andrew's bringing up, new ratables, new revenues, and reducing costs will all drive your surplus regeneration. The report from Standard & Poor's does mention, that a further decline in surplus could negatively impact future ratings. But right now, we've hopefully assured them that we're doing our best to not only at least stabilize the fund balance the way it is today, but add to it. So, we can't predict the future. We can only try as hard as we can to proceed and make happen what we discussed at that rating call that we had with the analysts.
Good. Anything else? We've already made the motion. We need a second on the motion, please.
Second.
Madam, Mrs. Lalama. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ferrante,
Yes.
Ms. Lalama,
Yes.
Mr. Mania,
yes,
Mr. Ruggiero,
Yes.
Mr. Aaron.
Yes. All right. Mrs. Lalama, would you move Resolution 194-2026?
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I move resolution number 194-2026.
194-2026 is titled Resolution to Adopt the 2026 Municipal Budget. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Well, any comment or any discussion from council on the budget? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Ferrante,
Yes.
Mrs. Lalama,
Yes.
Mr. Mania,
yes,
Mr. Ruggiero,
Yes.
Mr. Aaron.
Yes. Okay, we're going to move on to the public hearing on the 2026 sanitation district budget. I open the hearing to the public on the 2026 sanitation district budget. Does anyone from the public wish to be heard? Seeing none, I close the hearing to the public. Mr. Ruggiero, would you move Resolution 195-2026 for approval?
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Motion to move Resolution 195-2026, resolution to adopt the 2026 sanitation budget.
second,
It's been moved and seconded. Any council comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Ferrante,
Yes.
Mrs. Lalama,
Yes.
Mr. Mania,
yes,
Mr. Ruggiero,
Yes.
Mr. Aaron.
Yes. We're going to move on to consent resolutions. Anyone on council wish to move any of our consent resolutions to non-consent? Seeing none, Mr. Mania, would you please move consent resolutions 196-2026 through 209-2026? Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Vice President. I move for consent resolutions 196-2026 through 209-2026.
Just to clarify that that's a motion to adopt resolutions, those
Motion
resolutions.
to adopt.
Second.
Second.
Does anybody from the public wish to be heard on consent resolutions? Seeing none, I close it to the public, any council comments on consent resolutions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Ferrante,
Yes.
Ms. Lalama,
Yes.
Mr. Mania,
Yes,
Mr. Ruggiero,
Yes.
Mr. Aaron.
Yes. Moving on to the bill list. Mrs. Lalama, would you please move the bill list?
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I'd like to make a motion to move the bill list.
Need a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions on any items on the bill list? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Ferrante,
Yes.
Ms. Lalama,
Yes to all, but I abstain from 57971.
Mr. Mania,
yes,
Mr. Ruggiero,
Yes.
Mr. Aaron.
Yes. Move on to administrative reports. Andrew, please. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. It's been a great week this week. We're pleased to announce that Garana Pharmaceuticals officially took over the old Siemens building, which is very good for us and good for them. We welcome them. It's been a busy week for businesses. We had two grand openings, Abilities Thrift and Boutique Shop, which is up in the Retro Shopping Center up there, opened today, had a grand opening. We were over at 10, 20, 30 Pilates, which also had an opening. Tomorrow, the barbecue pit's opening in a new location, 2 doors down. So Mount Olive keeps thriving and businesses keep growing, so that's always good to hear. The past week was great, exceptional weather for the activities that we had. Community, it was big. We had a lot of people show up for the Special Olympics walk that was over at Flanders Park. It was over at Vassar Park, had a flower sale to benefit their organization. There was a special treasure. It was I'd never been to the library book sale, I have to say. It was the first time I went to the book sale there. I never knew that store existed back there. It's like going into a Barnes & Noble, but in the basement. It's really neat for the prices they sell, so it was really good to go there and check that out. And then we had the Pirates and Ferry Festival, which was a ton of people there, so it was very busy there as well. We approached the Memorial Day weekend. We want to remind everyone to honor those who served and who are still serving and those who sacrificed much for us. Let us take the time to enjoy moments with our family and enjoy, well, the weather may not be that great, but we'll still enjoy the time off, I'm sure. Looking ahead, coming up on Saturday, May 30th, we're going to hold the All-American 250th Day Parade. The event celebrates the nation's rich history and community spirits, begins at 9:30, ends at Turkey Brook Park with many free activities for everyone. You can go to the township website under Recreation for all the details. On Sunday the 31st, we're gathering at the corner of Clover Hill and Brewster at 2:30 for the Tom Shields street dedication sign. The ceremony marks the 15th anniversary of Tom's passing. He was one of the assistant chief with our fire department and dedicated member of our community, and his legacy continues to inspire us all. So I just want to thank everyone and wish everyone to have a happy Memorial Day weekend.
Just two quick updates. An update on PFAS litigation and some more settlement. You may recall we were approved for $1.3 million from 3M, but we were also recently notified that Tyco and BASF settlement in the amount of approximately $205,000 will be also added. I think we already received those funds. So as we talked about last time, we used that money to pay down the debt in the water budget. And also, we had a meeting with Elizabethtown Gas regarding their restoration efforts. You may recall they were in Bud Lake this year installing new gas lines. So they'll be back in the summer to restore the intersections. And that's all that I have.
Thank you, Andrew. Mr. Mayor, I know you've spent a lot of time working on local businesses and attracting businesses to Mount Olive. And I got to admit, going online and seeing all the new businesses coming to town is a nice mark for your efforts and the
great for
success
all of
for the
us.
town,
They're
for
all
everybody. The ratables are
They're all
important.
very happy with us. That's what all I hear from all the businesses, how great our town is.
Support local, shop local, right?
Good to hear.
There you go. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Andrew. We're moving on to old business. Does anyone have any old business to bring up? I do have one. I've recognized recently that there's a piece of legislation that had come up previously at the state level, which would allow religious organizations to extract an acre of property and put 40 housing units on that 1 acre of property. I understand that they've rebranded it, they've relabeled it, they repackaged it, and it's back up again. Could you give us potentially an update on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So there was speaking amendments to the bill. It's Senate Bill 1786, I believe.
Can you use the mic, Jonathan?
Yeah, Mike, okay.
Thank you. There's several of them that are of importance. This is now called the Yigby Bill, which is Yes in God's Backyard Bill. It's trending with several other states that are doing similar concepts and variations. You are correct, Vice President, that it would allow for religious institutions and nonprofits, qualifying nonprofits, to develop or redevelop properties at a density of at least 40 units an acre. They would be subject to either the highest height or 1 story above the highest height of an existing building on that site or the adjacent site. They're tweaking it. The amendments do recognize finally some environmentally sensitive concerns. They also did some increases to the set-asides, breaking it down like a Tier 1, Tier 2, and a Tier 3. So an affordable housing set-aside for Tier 1 is at least 20%, and it goes up to about 50%. There's other variations of it that are in there. They would be eligible for a pilot. automatically. They would bypass zoning board approval for a use variance, so it would just be site plan approval. But it is still being worked through. It's gaining speed. In the, currently the Senate Committee on Housing and Urban Affairs right now, would be Troy Singleton's committee, where a lot of these affordable housing bills are originating from. The other bill that's of pretty significant consideration is called the Stranded Assets Bill. That's a bill that allows for strip malls or retail office space to be converted to mixed-use housing, including affordable housing as well. It is similar to the religious and nonprofit exemption bill. It allows for affordable housing to be a component of that, not subject to a use variance. The density requirements are much more significant compared to the religious institution bill. It allows for a height currently anywhere within a zone, the highest building equivalent. It allows, it's called stranded assets because it allows for strip malls, commercial strip malls or retail office space that has an economic downturn of a vacancy rate of 25% or more, or a downturn in income of 30% expenses over income over the last continuous 3 years. So essentially, a smart developer can go out there, buy a strip mall, jack up the rents, push out small businesses, get the vacancy rate, and then redevelop.
Come back and develop it.
And they will also be subject to a pilot and the long-term tax. So instead of fostering small business development in the state, they're looking to now convert those.
I have a question for John, just hypothetical, but I'm sure it's going to happen. Beside the fact that our beautiful legislators down in Trenton always have these bright ideas that really hurt everybody, that help us all, as we learned over the years. This affordable housing thing is a nightmare to begin with. They're going to look to bypass most of our rules, is the way it sounds, so they can do what they want. I assume there's going to be plenty of lawsuits, because I know if I can join one, I would. There's no way that I'm going to allow someone like Mount Olive Bible, if they could, to put up 200 homes on 6 acres of land next door to here and take up all this property. We have enough problems as it is. These people just don't understand. I know I'm lecturing, but it bothers the crap out of me. They don't understand. You get the same people over and over doing the same mistakes over and over. It just frustrates me that nobody sees this. And then we're stuck with this, and our township is
Bypassing
going
local
to...
zoning,
It's crazy.
bypassing local approval process. How about bypassing your housing on the fair share
I mean,
plan
there's got to be
that you
a way.
worked so
We
hard to
should
get?
impeach half these people so we can get them off of here, because this is absurd now. Now we're to a point where it's absurd. It's not even craziness, it's absurdity what they're doing. And they're going to destroy this town like they've done already, not by us. They've destroyed this town with their affordable housing, and they're going to destroy it even more, and it's really ridiculous.
And the issue is the high-density component, right?
That's the
And you're
problem.
getting incentive zoning to build affordable housing at a 20% set aside. So you're not even meeting the need, because 80% of it's market rate.
So how do they, I'm going to ask, it doesn't matter. I just can't figure out how
do
they
they
justify
justify?
saying we can't put, they're fighting this detention center because of water and all the issues. But meanwhile, we can put up 1,000 homes for water and issues. Makes no sense to me. These homes will be here forever. That may not be, but these will be here forever that we can't afford.
And
It
they'll
just-
get a pilot.
It's just crazy. The whole system is crazy. It's just, I'm sorry, but it really frustrates me even more and more.
Me
the more we
too.
hear this.
When I saw the bill amendments that came out, and the stranded asset bill right now seems to be the one that has the most momentum. And that did get passed through the Senate Housing and Urban Affairs, or Community and Urban Affairs last week. That can go to the Senate for a vote. It has a companion assembly bill that I believe was amended in line with it, the amendments from last week. So that could theoretically go to the Senate for a vote by the end of this month.
Yeah, which is crazy. But
And again, the goal is to promote small businesses, right? So strip malls, office space, that's where you want to promote that business, right? Well, the landlord has an incentive too to make as much money as profitable on that land, right? So they can easily increase the rents dramatically, breach the leases, kick people out, and get their 25% vacancy rate.
Yep, once again, helping the businesses, the big businesses, not the small businesses. Thank you for the update.
John, thank you. Mr. Mayor, thank you for your passion, because I share the same frustration, because
No, it's
it will change the landscape of Mount Olive
Everything.
permanently.
No doubt.
If either of these go through. This is the kind of thing I'd love to see people get up in arms about, because these will truly
Right.
negatively affect. If these come in under pilots, there goes our rateable, we're just gonna have a lot of high density, we're gonna have, our roads, our infrastructure is gonna be decimated. And we can't stop it.
No, that's the
These are
problem.
the things people should be upset about, so.
And remember too, right, that religious property was already exempt from taxes.
Right.
So now it's being converted to a profit-making
Right.
residence, and they're
And put a
justifying
drain
the
on our
pilot.
resources to begin with, yeah, same thing. Just as crazy, really is.
Thank you for the discussion, I appreciate it. Any other old business? Seeing none, I move on to new business. Anybody have any new business? Seeing none, move on to legal matters. Any legal matters?
I just want to report that the NJDEP did file an order to show cause against the Mount Olive Village's water and sewer. There was a return date on June 10th. They do reference our case in the matter as well. We are going to seek to join in that case and consolidate our case with theirs.
Perfect.
So it's a good development. I'm happy the DEP has finally stepped up to the table and started to enforce.
And do we have a date? I'm sorry,
June
you said
10th
it.
would
but-
be the argument on the order to show cause before the Morris County Chancery Judge.
Okay. Great progress.
We're going to try to get into that, obviously, and be involved as well in that.
Great. Thank you, John. Anything else? Nope.
That's all.
All right, council reports, Board of Education, I'll start. Last night, the Board of Education had their first referendum meeting. I encourage everybody who's interested, rather than going into the details of it, it was videoed, it's on YouTube. If you'd like to see the details of that discussion, please go there and feel free to watch that and reach out to the Board of Education with any questions. I move on to Library and Recreation, Councilman Ferrante.
Sure, as the mayor said, the library, Friends of the Library had a successful book sale this past weekend, and nothing for recreation.
Excellent, thank you. Councilwoman Laybow is out, so we'll pass Environmental, Lake, and Open Space. Councilwoman Lalama, Board of Health.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. The Health Department is holding a free child health care clinic on May 28th from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Mount Olive Health Department. And that is all I have.
That's it, short and sweet, thank you very much. Legislative Committee and Senior Citizen
Thank you,
Club.
Mr. Vice
Mr.
President.
Mania, yes.
Nothing with legislative. Senior citizen, we had a social meeting today. Ice cream was supplied by Marcy, our township van driver, compliments of her.
Oh, that's really nice.
And we have an election coming up in June.
In June, okay, perfect. Moving on to the Planning Board, Councilman Ruggiero.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I was actually away on vacation with my family, so I missed the planning board. Once the official meeting minutes have been sent out, I'll have an updated presentation for our next meeting.
Excellent. Thank you, Councilman. And that concludes our council reports. We move on to our public portion of the meeting. Does anyone from the public wish to be heard? Please step up to the podium, state your name and address for the record unless exempted under Daniel's Law.
Hello.
Hello.
Is this on?
Sure.
I don't think it is. Is it?
Yeah, go
It's
ahead.
okay, okay. Irene Sergonis, 37 Mount Olive Road. I just wanted to add, there's the book sale, the second part is tomorrow from 3 to 7 at the Friends, at the library. We still have some really good books, so, stock up for the summertime when you're doing your beach reading. There's a lot of good beach reads there. I have a question, like, for the budget. In the past budgets, past like 3 years, I was able to go on cleargov.com, a link from the town website, and then it would take me there, and then I would see the numbers behind the numbers in the chart. you could really have a detailed spreadsheet. Is that no longer available? Is that something that we need to pay for, or?
Yes, we have to pay for it. We pay a significant amount of money for it, roughly $25,000 a year. It was pretty much designed by the last CFO, and moving forward, it may be something that we don't utilize anymore and go back to a different type of system. It's just, if you weren't part of the process to build out that type of a software, it's hard to utilize and maximize to its fully extent. And for $25,000, we may revert to a different process to present the budget.
Okay, I really did appreciate that detail, you know, and I thought it gave transparency,
But the user-friendly budget is online, so that
yes,
summarizes
I
it.
understand, yeah, you know, and I do look at that.
Is all the information that she was accessing previously available through that? I just want
I
to
would
make
have-
sure
I
that
would
the
have to-
public has all the information they're looking for.
All the information is definitely available for the public. Whether it may not be in the same format as last year's budget.
It's not the same level as details. Like, for instance, I think a few years ago, I was fighting against the artificial turf at Turkey Brook, so I was able to drill down on numbers and so on. And, you know, it was just very, very user-friendly for, you know, and if somebody's interested in a particular expense, you know, it was helpful.
So if I just may add, I'm still learning that system, so apparently I didn't push the publish button correctly. I will go back and look at that tomorrow.
Oh, okay, that would be great. I'm not, you know, we're all learning, right? We all learn, and you know, it's not my, but I'm a curious person. Okay, I had sent resolutions for us to not have detention or data centers in town, and I haven't heard anything about it. Now, I was in Newark last week. There was a lawsuit against DHS to stop the detention center in Roxbury, and for now, we were successful. There was a settlement. So the thing is, you know, Roxbury might get free of this detention center. But if they start looking around, there's some empty warehouses in Mount Olive. I think you need to protect yourself. I really do. And my group has been going to other towns and asked for the same thing. And there are some towns that have passed these resolutions. So I had sent the model resolutions for that. So, you know, I'm going to keep bugging you.
I can answer you for that. We're not going to do anything with them right now because our code doesn't allow for any of them. So there's no sense in bringing anything up at this point. If they have to come in for it, they would have to go to the planning board and go for a change and all that use. So right now, there's no reason for us to do anything with them.
Okay, you know, we really were, I spent a lot of time with a lot of people to stop this thing in Roxbury, you know, but I don't want to have to come, I don't want it to be coming here. I really do wish you could do something more
Two different
preventative.
issues for me. You know, we have the detention center is different from the data center. Right now, they're both not allowed, but if it's federal government, it's a whole different story. So when that gets to that point, God forbid, we have to deal with the federal government, not the ordinance isn't going to do much anyway.
Okay, I think that's all I have. I appreciate all the hard work you do. I was at the planning board meeting. I appreciate the planning board, everybody who works for this town. I know there's going to be some people that are going to be upset about the tax increases, but I have been going to other towns, and I know that they are facing these challenges also. So it's, you know, so I do appreciate your hard work. I really do. Even though I don't agree with you all the time. Take care.
Thank you, Irene.
Thank you, Irene, for your comments. I appreciate it. Does anybody else from the public wish to be heard? Please step up to the microphone, to the podium, state your name and address for the record unless exempted under Daniel's Law.
Alexis Erhin, 61 Biscay Drive, Flanders. Good evening, everyone. Just going back to the budget and the history of tax rate page. Sorry. So it was flatlined for about 11 years, and the last 3 years, looks like there's an increase. So to me, just looking at this, assessing it tonight means that the inflows are losing out to the outflows. So my big question is there like a 3 to 5 year estimate moving forward for the next 3 to 5 years? That, because to me, it just looks like there's going to be about a $200 increase for the next 5 years, so that it'll be $1,000 more by 2031. That's just what I'm, in my head, I take it that way. So that's essentially my question I was asking.
Andrew, would you like to take that?
We're having conversations with our financial advisor about developing a budget projection moving forward based on development, so that's forthcoming.
Okay.
Is that something that can be put on, like, for future?
Would be, sure.
You can asterisk it saying just projections, so that would be good. Just because, if you see flatline for 11 years and then it looks like a stock chart going up. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Andrew, it's fair to say, too, that it's hard to project out a pretty long period of time because there's so much legislation going through on the state level, right? And we're impacted by legislation on the state level once it's adopted, maybe 6 months down the road from after it's adopted. Fair to say?
Yeah. I mean, we could estimate potential ratables in the future based on developments that have been approved, how many COs we anticipate issuing that year. But yes, we don't know what health insurance will do. But yeah, we could come up with, some idea.
Okay.
Andrew, isn't it safe to say that those 11 years of no tax increase, we had very high ratables? We had a lot more development in town, and now that we're at a flat rate of development, because there's no place else really
Yes,
available.
during those years, we were regenerating our surplus. COVID happened during those years, and as unfortunate as COVID was, we did get assistance from the federal government, so that helped, I guess, artificially inflate our surplus number. But yeah, during those 10 years, we were growing more than we were operating.
I think the biggest thing coming up for the next years are going to be the increase in revenues from building. We don't have any commercial revenue, really, any more commercial land left. That's the biggest issue we have. Aside from all the affordable housing obligation, which we already built in, we really don't have any land to build ratables. That's the biggest concern. We've been saying this all along. What's going to happen down the road is we're limited to where you can build and what you can build. And the only people that pay for it are the taxpayers. That's the problem you have. At a certain point, there's no more ratables coming in. Commercial is what we want. We don't want residential. We want commercial because they're less impactful, more taxes. So the biggest part of that next projection is going to be how much are we going to increase in those ratables, but I don't see, a lot coming in the next 4 or 5
And
years.
when we gave the presentation to the public about a month ago, there was a slide that showed what the estimated ratables are for the Village Green project, for Ryan Homes, and some other developments that have been approved. And although the ratable base based on those projects could increase by $100 million, the municipal portion of that is only about $1 million of taxes to use to balance the budget. So even if the ratables do go up $100 million over the next 5 years, you're only seeing $1 million of that, so.
The question did come up a couple of meetings ago about the volume of rentals in town. The tax increase affects the rentals the same way it does property owners. That's a correct statement, I believe. Is it going up at the equivalent rate? I know that we have I think about 40% of our community is renters. That's paid for by the landowners. Is that rate that we collect from that 40% an equal contribution to the budget as the 60% of the homeowner population?
Well,
Yeah, the answer is yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we went through.
It came up a few meetings ago, Joe, that's why I just want to make sure as we go through the budget process that at least we have the right answer for the community when they ask that, because it should be a fair distribution of tax burden, whether you rent or own a home, should be equivalent.
The tax rate is the same for both rental apartments and residentials, and the assessments are based on the market, so they are
Okay.
paying their, that share.
Just want to make sure, I know it's come up in the past, so I just want to make sure we ask it again.
Well, it's actually an increase to the owner of the property.
Correct.
Correct.
Who then passes it
The
along.
rent, well,
Yeah, that's
not necessarily, the renters have a lease.
Generally.
So
year.
that
Yeah.
eventually it may reflect
Right.
in the lease, but at the immediate, it won't.
Yeah, for those,
So
correct.
that's.
Yeah,
that's
typically there would be a
little bit
year
more
lag.
detail.
Is
But I
anyone else,
think that
before we
that's a-
move on to council comments, anybody else from the public wish to be heard? Seeing none, I close the public portion, and I move on to council comments. Councilman Ferrante.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Lalama.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. First, I'd like to thank everyone for all their hard work on the budget, Andrew and Joe and all their staff. Also, I'd like to thank you for coming up and speaking, and also to wish everybody a safe and happy Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Mania.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. My deepest sympathy on the passing of one of our township employees, Antonio Stafiro.
Thank you, Councilman Mania. Councilman Ruggiero.
I just, again, wanted to go ahead and commend Andrew for all his hard work. I know he's very conservative in his mindset and looks to save the town as much as possible and looks to increase where he can as far as income goes. So I do appreciate that, and I expect next year we will have a robust discussion on the new budget.
Thank you, Councilman. I'll just close out and say thank you for the budget process. I know it's been complicated, as I said before. I appreciate the effort that goes into it to try to protect our residents and keep the burden of taxes as low as we can. I think it's a challenge. Insurance costs, pension costs, as a percentage of the total cost of living going up hurts everybody in the community equally. I think we feel the pressure, especially in a world where development in New Jersey is just, in my opinion, it's a personal opinion, I believe it's out of control. Affordable housing mandates put on the community are going to be a burden to our fire, our police, our EMS, putting housing in locations that we do not want and don't need them to be, destroying beautiful wooded areas in order to put up this affordable housing. Hearing that there's potentially an option that religious organizations can start carving out portions of their property, putting up dense housing, and all these exemptions to our zoning rules that are there established to make sure that we protect the town will not only change the landscape of Mount Olive, but will put a tremendous burden on taxpayers in the future to maintain the roads, maintain the police, security, and safety of the community. That is frankly out of our control. And when we saw 12 years of flat taxes, I would have liked, I live in town, and while I enjoyed it for the 12 years, I can tell you what, looking back, I wish we took a percentage or two per year and took an incremental increase to try to offset some of the things that were put aside, like road repair, water repair, all those things that should have been repaired of those 12 years that we just kind of shaved the numbers to make it look good. I wish we had taken a little bit, because the burden for the taxpayer is now going to be tremendous, because we have to keep up with the roads, we have to catch up with the roads. I like that we're responsible in that Andrew and the mayor have brought in this AI technology to help grade the roads so we can proactively look at cost for repairs. But nonetheless, it will be a repair burden to the community to bear while we're taking on extra costs. I'm concerned as our community's gotten up, and the few that spoke this evening, I appreciate you coming up to speak. It's a legitimate concern going forward over time. And the only thing and you hate to say it, we're not the only community, but that shouldn't be a statement we need to make in New Jersey, is, hey, everybody else is going through it, we're going through it. I think we need more responsibility at the state level to help us in the communities, not imposing more housing and more development and exemptions to what the town can approve or not approve is not the answer to the problem. So, on that, I close. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. People don't understand. You think a data center is bad? You put 40 houses on an acre.